Hello everyone, I am here to start a new journal. Now I have done some stuff and I've collected some stuff, but I'm going to start working on the cover. And so far with this cover, all I have done is cut out the text block and I've cut off the leaves? No, that's not what it's called. End pages. And I have collected some stuff, but before I do the collected stuff, my plan is to use this fabric on the inside. It's like a thick, it's not really a tapestry because this is printed on, but it's like a faux tapestry and it is a nice thick canvas. And I have cut a piece of that end page off just to give a little bit of stability where the signatures are going to be sewn in. It's going to be a hidden spine. So before I do that, since it's going to be open and you'll be able to see down the back, I want to add in some cheesecloth. So what I have for my cheesecloth is I'm going to use this Paper Source bookbinding PVA glue to paint on and glue that down. So what I do with this glue, and this is something I learned from Gail Agostinelli, is I keep some baking paper around the threads of the jar so that all of these, when you spill over the edge, it doesn't glue the top to the threads, and it does a really good job at keeping that lid removable. All right, so I'm going to just, here, I'll play with the glue, picking it off the threads later. Sorry. Okay, so I have a paintbrush here in some water, and I am just going to paint this on. So this, the cheesecloth is going to do two things. It's going to be a visual, and it's going to stick up over the top in the back, but it's going to block the what you see when you look down the inside of the spine there. But it also is going to provide a little bit of continuity and support to the spine itself. Since I am going to do a hidden spine, I wanted to make sure that the woven fabric of something gives a little bit of stability to the spine. This is a new book. This is not a vintage or antique book, so it's in really good shape, and I'll show you in a second. The cover itself is a lovely thick fabric. So it's not a concern really, it's just habit. I think at this point, I need to reinforce the spines. Okay. So here I have, this is just a piece of natural cheesecloth that I got from the grocery store, I believe. It's not tea-dyed, it's not vintage, it's nothing fancy, but because it's unbleached and natural, it has a nice kind of cream color to it. And I am just going to spread it out a little bit. And I want to make sure that it gets into the corners here. Where's my little pusher thing, glue pusher? I actually need a new one of these because this one's covered in glue. So how is everyone today? I hope you're all well. Today's a Sunday. It's kind of dreary. It's not as dreary as it's been. We've just had a whole spate of gray, cold, snainy, rainy coldness. And it's looking up a little bit. I think it's supposed to be a nicer week. So here we go. And I've been having fun watching different people's takes on the detective journal and detective lap books. And I've discovered some new artists. So I've just been really enjoying myself with this project. I'm using a lot of images from Tracy Fox's detective kit. And then I haven't printed them out. I need to go print them out, but I spent some time the other day looking at oh, the Graphics Fairy. The Graphics Fairy had some fun images. And I've made a file that I have to print out of some of those images. See, I'm just going to spread this out. It's nice and thin. I'm going to be covering this all with that nice thick fabric. So having the cheesecloth be thin and not adding bulk is also desirable. And since it's going to be covered, I don't really have to worry about it having a perfect edge. So I have been listening. One of the reasons why I got excited about this project was when Tracy published her detective kit. I've been listening on Audible to the collected works of Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes. And let me just tell you that they are so enjoyable to listen to on audiobook. I had never read them before. Okay, I think that is good. I'll put that back in the water. I will put my little baking paper on my glue. Cover that up. I'm just going to stash it over there for just a quick second. Okay. All right. So I think I will trim. Let's see, what do you see? You can't quite see that. This is my new craft room station. And while it works really well for me, I haven't found a good way to position the camera so that there's a wide enough field to get the whole thing in. So I'm just trimming off these edges. I do want them poking out. I want them to be frayed. I like that. Okay, so the other thing I want to do, I realize that should probably dry, but we're just going to forge ahead because it's a video. Okay, cut that little bit off. I have a wet wipe here for gluey fingers. Okay, so the other thing that I really want to include on this is, I'm just going to turn that over. It should be okay, even though it's on glass, even though it's on the bottom, is I have this butterfly clasp. Isn't that a cool clasp? And I think I got that from AliExpress. Sorry, I know I'm not supposed to buy from them. I did it a long time ago. It's just, I'm not going to go into that. So anyway, so I have this butterfly clasp and I have this little antiqued hasp block, and I got these things for when I made a big steampunk journal, and I will try and link that below. The flip through that came out really cool, and I vintaged up a ton of stuff, and I used the patinas, the Tim Holtz patinas, to distress these. And I really want to include this because it's an actual lock. I just think it's so cool. And it can lock and it will lie like that. And so this part of the, of the hasp block will be directly connected to this. And then I'll have to connect this to either, I have some waxed canvas that I can use. And I also have some of that Craftex fabric paper that makes very good faux leather that I'm going to use as well. So that will be attached to the whatever closure I use. So I just want to attach this, and I grabbed some of these longer paper brads. These come with little screws, but I don't really want to screw into the cardboard. I kind of want it to be through and through. And so what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to draw, I'm just going to eyeball it, kind of center it there. And this covering of this is, I just noticed a sticker here. I got this book from Thrift Books. This is not sponsored. I just like the company. I like the Thrift Books company. So I got them from them. And there's actual really lovely fabric. It's like, feels like a soft flannel on the cover of this. So I'm just going to make a mark, and then I'm going to use my Crop-A-Dile to punch some holes in the cover and put those black paper brads through. And for this, oh, this might jiggle you. I apologize. It's touching. Nope, worked. I'm going to use my Big Bite, and I'm going to use the larger, yes, larger. Should I use the smaller hole? No, I'm going to use the larger hole to cut through the book cover here on those marks that I made. I wonder if the smaller one would work. I'm going to try that smaller one. I wonder if I use the smaller one, it's the 1/8 inch, if it might have less wiggle. And there, wow. That goes ka-chunk, huh? Oh, I wiggled you. I apologize. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to go with a tripod, because when I watch people who use tripods, it always seems like the tripods are in the way. And right now, this camera is attached with it's like an articulated arm, and then there's a clampy bit that attaches to the shelf that's right there. And I don't know. I wonder if they make clampy ones with longer arms, because I have a shelf way above the shelf that you're attached to and the one that you're attached to. And the one that you're attached to seems to be a little bit too close, and the one above it seems to be a little bit too far away. And there's no place for another shelf, so I can't make a Goldilocks shelf. And I don't know. I'm going to have to figure something out. If I put a tripod, I'm not sure where I would put the legs, where it wouldn't constantly be being knocked. Sorry. Okay, and I'm going to stick this one through this hole. I think the 1/8 inch hole was a good call. And I'm just going to spread those brads there. I'm going to give them a little bit of a squish. Where's my awl? Okay. I use the flat side of my awl to squish these down often. And then I think I will put some tape on there for a little extra security. And I have some masking tape. This is just regular masking tape that I have in the drawer next to me. Should I put some glue down? Probably. Thank you for whoever said that or thought it. I heard you. Some glue down around here. Somebody on my recent video commented on my pin for my glue. And all this is one of those little embellishment flowers that I stuck the pin through. And all this does is keeps it from rolling around and lets me find it on my table when my table gets to be a mess. So I'm just gonna stick that down like that. And another one like this, in the hopes that that just gives it a little bit of stability and also maybe helps hide the pokey uppy bits when it comes time to put the fabric on. Okay, so that's looking good. I'm liking the way this is looking. It's still fairly wet. I don't think that's terrible. Okay, so I have my hasp closure. And the other thing I wanted to put on, two other things I want to put on the front before I put the fabric down, is I have this little metal book plate, which is either from Amazon or AliExpress. I actually haven't bought anything from AliExpress in a really long time, so I still am working through the stuff that I got. And it too came with screws, but I think I'm going to do the brad technique with this as well. I suppose I should have done that all at once, but I wasn't thinking. And I'm just thinking, do I want those same black brads or do I want a smaller one? Let's look. Yeah, I think this size brad is too large. I am not fussy about keeping your metals matching. I know some people like to have their metals match, but I am not one who is fussed by that. Is that going to be long enough, do we think, to go through? Oh yeah, no worries. So I can use the little teeny vintagey looking ones. Is that the same? Huh. No, it's not the same. That's interesting. So when I buy brads and things, I just dump them into here, into this jar, and I keep them all in one place. See, that's a smooth top. That one looks like it's similar. Yes. Those two are the same. I was looking for length more than color. Again, I am not married to keeping all of my metal colors the same, especially when I'm doing something vintage. You know, we make do with what we have often. So if you're repairing something, this is the story I tell myself. It's possible that they would have used a different kind of brad. Okay, so now I want to place this. Am I on frame? Yeah. I want to place this. I don't want this right here. I think I want it kind of centered. And then I might have like a little word that says journal or something, or evidence. Oh, that might be a good one. One of those little red evidence labels from the Tracy kit. I like that idea. Okay, so I want it kind of centered left to right on this title plate, but I'm going to move it up a smidge so that it's centered like that. I'm just going to make a mark here and here. And once again, I will bring in my, oh wow, it's very hard to see. Once again, I will bring in my big bite and make those holes. And here we go. Again, it's on the 1/8 inch punch. If you don't have a big bite, I would really encourage you. I've lost my visualization of the dot now. There's one. Completely faded into the background. All right, let's try that again. Anyway, with the Crocodile Big Bite, oh, there it is. I highly recommend, let me grab something that's going to show up better though. The Crocodile Big Bite. Wow, I'm having a hard time getting that out. Because it reaches in far into the work that you're working on far better than the handheld one. I do have the handheld one, and I love the handheld one, but it's frustrating when the handheld one doesn't reach. And I actually bought the Big Bite first before I bought the handheld one. And then I found the handheld one in the clearance section at Michael's years ago. And it was perfectly fine. I don't know, I have no idea why it was. Maybe it was bought and returned. Oh, come on, you. Bite. Okay. Ka-chunk. And so I wound up with both. And I do recommend having both because I use them both for different purposes. Of course, I have now lost the little brads that I picked out for, did you see where I put them, folks? my key. Is everything falling behind underneath that mat? What did I do? I picked them out and I set them aside so that they wouldn't get lost, or maybe I didn't, and intended. Aha, there they are. Once again, thank you. I heard you shouting, apparently. They're right there, you moron. Okay, so I'm just going to stick that there and do the same thing. I'm going to stick my brads through, and it's important to do this step. This is one of those things where it really does help to think about your steps ahead of time, because this way I can cover these brads up behind, where's the other hole? I can cover the brads up behind the fabric, and I can secure them with tape and such. So I'm just, I don't, you know what, I probably could have, they probably would have been fine with just an awl, but I'm not sure, poking through, but I'm not sure I could, if I would have had the strength to poke through with just an awl. So if you'll bear with me, I'm just going to do that same thing. I'm going to put some glue, and then I'll put some masking tape to secure all that. Here's my masking tape again. There we go. Okay. So there is my, I think, oh, the other thing I wanted to do, I think, is put some, whoops, book corners on. And actually, I think I'm going to do the book corners now rather than do the fabric and then the book corners, because I intend for the fabric to go past the edge and be all frayed and interesting looking. So let's do that now. So to do book corners, you've probably seen this a million times, but I'm going to put a little glue onto the inside, and I think a lot of people use Fabri-Tac, but I think this will work just fine. It's just, I don't even know if you need glue. And then I have some jewelry making pliers, and I will just give that a squish and a squeeze in order to clamp. It's really not the glue that's holding the corners on, it is the squeezing and clamping of those metal bits. So I'm going to do that with this one. I'm not even sure if you're supposed to glue it on, but because I've seen other people do it, I do it. Okay. So glue and a squeeze. The nice thing about this PVA glue that I used on the cheesecloth is it is flexible. So that when you're opening and shutting the cover of the book over and over again over time. Oh, I am so sorry. I'm sorry. I know how annoying that is. I apologize. So I want to do book covers on the book corners on the back cover. And then, oh no, I can't do the fabric yet. I've got to sew the signatures in. I'll do that on another video. So this is just going to be the cover prep. Okay, and now I need to do some squish. And this metal squeezes just nicely. Gets all nice and squished down. And this cover is exactly the kind of cover that these are made for, because they have, see how thick this is compared to the thickness of the book cover. I've tried to use these on thinner covers that I've made myself, and they always get a little bit deformed. I've lost my fourth book corner. Is it in here? Oh, there it is, right there. Okay. You can get book corners in different sizes and finishes. I have some that are like more silvery. And you can get them from Amazon. You can get them from, I think Tim Holtz used to make some, with his Ideology line. I'm not sure if he still does. And then you can get them from those places of less repute, directly from China. Okay. And if you're not familiar with the issues around AliExpress, it's because they're from China. So AliExpress is actually just a distributor, and lots of little individual folks can establish stores, kind of like an Etsy, only not Etsy. And they have a problem in China with not really respecting intellectual property rights. And so a lot of creators have found their work being stolen and then resold, which is not cool, which is why I do try to not use AliExpress. But I'm also a small maker, and I'm trying to, make money too. And they have cheap stuff. So it's a dilemma. Okay, so here is the cover. And once I sew my signatures into this piece here, I will glue this down onto this side and this side, leaving the floating spine floating. And that will be my journal. So I still have to think about, do I want to sew these panels on the machine? And do I want to have some kind of sewn pocket? So I haven't made those decisions yet. And I will let you know when I do. But I have all kinds of little trinkets planned, and I have some little card things planned, and I have the beginnings of some signatures. And I also have gone ahead and made some ephemera. So the pockets and things that I have for this journal, I really want to have, I'm just gonna switch these out for this basket of stuff that I have already kind of put together through Mass Makes. I want to have some hidden journaling spots. So this is one I made yesterday. So it's a circle journaling spot, and you open it, and when you open it, these all swivel out. I got this idea from someone on YouTube, and I can't remember who it is, but I will try and find them. And then I made some little evidence slides. This one is a thumbprint, an actual thumbprint with some suspect evidence. And since it's Sherlock Holmes, I have the hound's hair from the Hounds of the Baskervilles. And I have a mysterious, oops, well, that wasn't supposed to fall away. So there is a mysterious moth, and I put a little dot in the center there for the, when they put a pin in the moth. I have some soil samples. Can you see that? There we go. There's some better light. Some soil samples. That's actually sand, and I wrote Thames. This is some soot from my wood stove. And yeah, so I've got some fun things going. Here's a fiber sample. And yeah, so I've got some fun things going on here, and that I'm working on. Where's my other? These are some fun little hidden pockets that I got from Corey Dahman's page. I mean, this is a super simple pocket, and I have some other ideas for hidden journaling spaces that I have not yet made. So I hope you will join me and come back. This is a fun one. This is a Corey Dahman one, but it also has a hidden spot there. So I hope you'll come back and join me as I make progress on this Sherlock Holmes journal. I hope you're having a great weekend. Enjoy. Stay safe. Bye-bye.